This is all literally part and parcel of moving forward and what we are going to be learning within Victory with Ash. But it also comes as a reminder for all of us of our responsibility a little bit as well, of what we are here to do. And that means that we really have to start standing up and being the entrepreneurs or the lions that we are meant to be. This is exactly what our CEO is looking for. So the expression, are you a lion or are you a sheep, is a way to ask if you are a strong, independent leader, i.e., the lion, or a follower who is docile and easily influenced, i.e., the sheep. Now, there is, unfortunately, many that are the sheep. The old saying, the sheeple, which are the people that are easily influenced, and more so now than ever has been really in history, are people very easily influenced. And that is a lot to do with social media, a lot to do with the corporate media, and I mean as a whole across the globe, how news is given to us. We are manipulated to a certain extent, but certainly influenced by what we read and what we see. And especially nowadays, where AI is extremely good and very, very realistic, it's very hard sometimes to uh, distinguish between reality and fake things. This is why being a lion in a world of sheep will certainly bring for you great uh, strays of moving forward and hopefully success, but it will also come with a lot of background noise. And what do I mean by background noise is when people are pushing against you, then you know you're on the right track. I know it might sound a little bit Irish, a little bit backwards, and a little bit hard to understand. But if you are doing something that goes against the grain, that makes people look at you, that makes people watch you, that make people listen to what you have to say, you are going to get a percentage that are going to kick back against you and start saying bad things about you, ridiculing you, and all the rest of it. When that starts happening, you know you're on the right track. I know it might sound a bit Irish, but it really does mean that you are doing the right things because you are then that person who is decided to be the lion amongst sheep. You've seen many of these images and gifs where you have a master and they're cracking a whip and everyone's bowing down, and one person stands up and then another person and another person, and then in the end that master who was cracking the whip is the one that is bowing down. Being the first person to stand up and be counted is really one of the hardest things to do, because you are going against the grain, you are going against public opinion, or that what is perceived as public opinion, but it certainly doesn't mean that you are wrong. And this is where you have to be steadfast in your resilience of knowing what you are doing is the right thing to do. So it really is important that you are a lion amongst sheep. And the question is a metaphorically choice between being a leader or a follower. And that really is the basics of being a lion or a sheep. You need to have that mindset that is daring, I suppose, proactive, sure, and one that is not complacent over fear of standing out. It does come with those kinds of characteristics. And these are something that we will learn in Victory with Ash. We'll learn how to overcome all of these by the teachings that we're going to see within Victory with Ash. But the first port of call that we all need to think about ourselves is, am I going to be a lion in a world of sheep? And if you can become a lion in a world of sheep, you are going to stand out, which in effect is going to make you much more noticeable and also much more successful, because you will in your own right be that leader. So the characteristics of a lion is someone who is brave, takes initiative, makes their own decision, and more importantly, doesn't care about the opinions of others. Too many of us are more concerned about what somebody thinks than about our own actions are right or wrong, or what we believe in. This is where that resilience really kicks in, and we need to understand that we are going to get people who are opposed to our opinion, people who are going to give their opinion about what you are doing, whether you like it or not. And this is where you have to have that resilience. You have to have that leadership initiative to make your own decisions and not care about what they think. Also, your behavior. You really need to be willing to be uncomfortable to achieve greatness and stand alone when you are right, okay, and they are perceived to be right as well. This is how you stand out. You are standing alone in a group of people who think they are right and you are wrong. So it does take a lot of guts, I suppose, strong will to be a lion amongst the sheep. Now, if you're a sheep, of course, the followers, what are your characteristics? You are somebody who is meek, follows the herd, afraid to leave their comfort zone, do what others do. And they also need encouragement from other people, afraid to be different, afraid to stand out from the crowd. These are the behavioral traits of a sheep. So it is important that you understand who you are and what you are as well, so that you can become the lion within yourself. And we will learn all of these traits within Victory with Ash, because this is part and parcel of how you are going to be successful moving forward. A person can actually be both to a certain extent. Some interpretations suggest that a person could be a lion in some aspects of their life and a sheep in others, and that a meek person might not need to be a lion at times to protect themselves or achieve their goals, as suggested by the quote, sometimes you got to be a lion so that you can be a lamb. You can be the lamb you are. What does that mean? It means that in some circumstances you have to agree with certain scenarios so that you can move past that and on to something else. Appeasement, I think, is the best way that I can explain it. So it really is a tool that you should reflect on. Are you a lion or are you a sheep? It really does help to prompt individuals to consider their own character and their own action, and to reflect on their position as either a leader or a follower. If you are a follower, that's nothing wrong with that, and that's absolutely fine. But you cannot expect to have the same results than a lion does in the company of the sheep, because a lion doesn't care what the sheep thinks. A lion will dismiss and just walk through a herd of sheep because it doesn't care what the sheep are saying. But you also have to realize that all lions have a bite. And this is where many people lose the opinion of what a lion is capable of doing. If you upset them, then we all know how that is going to end. But I think it's more important at this stage is to have a good look at yourself in the mirror and think to yourself, what am I? Am I going to be a person that is going to stand tall and proud, stick to your guns, be that person who is going to push through when others are turning away? Are you going to be that strong, resilient lion that is the main basis of many, many entrepreneurs that go on to be very successful? That decision is in your hands. Are we going to get the training to learn how to be a lion? Yes, we will. But the first step is to make that choice. I am going to be a lion amongst a flock of sheep.